I had no idea that night would change my life forever. I always thought I knew my school inside out. I mean, Roosevelt District High wasn't some mysterious Gothic place, just a regular old school building in West Oak Ridge, a quiet suburban town where people mostly cared about their lawns and their football team. But 1 year ago, everything changed. I was 16 back then, regular kid, average grades, not the talkative type. My mom used to say I lived too much in my own head, and honestly, she wasn't wrong. With finals coming up, everyone in school was stressed, but I had it worse. I needed solid grades to qualify for the journalism program I dreamed of. So when the school announced the library would stay open till midnight for exam season, I thought, hell yeah, perfect. That single decision ruined my life in ways I'm still trying to understand. Backstory: the town, the school, and an incident. Everyone pretends never happened. Roosevelt High was old, built in the 1960s, renovated twice, but still smelling like dust, carpet cleaner, and teenage sweat. Behind the school was a big patch of woods that people called Black Maple Trail. When I was in middle school, I heard rumors about a girl going missing back there. Her name was supposedly Jenna Rowe, but no one ever said it openly. Teachers shut down those conversations instantly. All I knew was she was around 11. She vanished after staying late in school, and her mom, Marilyn Rowe, lost her mind afterward. People said Marilyn was seen wandering the hallways at night, screaming her daughter's name. Some said she broke into the school once, running around barefoot with her hair all over the place, asking kids if they'd seen Jenna. Cops arrested her, but after that, things got quiet. Too quiet. Like the town collectively agreed to erase her name. I didn't believe in ghosts, but that backstory always stuck with me. So when finals season came and the school let students stay late, some people joked about the row thing, but jokes have a way of sounding less funny when the sun goes down. The story 1. The night everything started. I left my house around 6 p.m., backpack heavy with notebooks and my old laptop. The sun was low, the air smelled like someone grilling burgers in their backyard, and I remember thinking, man, this town feels too peaceful for the crap people say about it. When I reached the school, the halls were busy. People studying in groups, ordering pizza, some sleeping on desks. Finals week chaos. I headed straight toward the library. By 8 p.m., people started leaving. By 9 p.m., the lights in the hall outside dimmed automatically. By 10 p.m., the library was dead silent. I didn't even notice everyone leaving. Noise-canceling headphones can be a curse. At 10:07 p.m., my phone buzzed. It was my friend Lacey texting, "Greater than, you still at school? Dude, go home, it's dead out there." I shot back, "Greater than chill 20 more mins." But I lied. I still had a whole chapter left. 2. The first sound. At 10:32 p.m., I heard it. A weird, dragging limp. Thump, drag, thump, drag. I paused my music. The library was huge. 2 floors, old wooden shelves that creaked if you stared at them too long. Any sound in that place carried like it had nowhere else to go. I thought maybe it was the janitor. But janitors don't limp. At least not like that. I tried to shake it off. "Don't be a wuss," I muttered and continued reading. But then something fell. A book, hardcover. Slammed on the floor from the sociology section. My heart kicked into overdrive. "Hello?" I called out. No answer, just silence, the kind that crawls under your skin. I packed my bag. 3. The corridor. The library door opened with that old metal squeal I always hated. The hallway outside was long, like airport long, lit by only every third bulb because of energy-saving measures. It made the place look abandoned, even though it wasn't supposed to be. As I stepped into the corridor, the air felt colder. Not AC cold, wrong cold. Halfway down the corridor, I saw someone, a woman, standing still, at the far end where the hallway turned toward the exit. I stopped dead. "Ma'am, you good?" I called out, trying to hide the shake in my voice. No reaction. She just stood there, head tilted slightly like she was listening to something I couldn't hear. Something in me screamed, "Don't go closer." "Hey, who's there?" I tried again. And the moment my voice echoed, she vanished. Not ran, not turned, just gone. Like someone deleted her from the hallway. I whispered, "Nope, nope, nope," and practically jogged to the exit. 4. The street that shouldn't have been empty. I stepped outside, expecting to see at least a couple of cars or people from late-night practice. But the street was empty. West Oak Ridge never gets empty, not even at 2 a.m. There's always someone walking their dog, some dude jogging, some car passing by. But that night, nothing. I kept my head down and walked fast. My block wasn't far, just 2 turns and a 3-minute walk. When I reached the corner, I saw a shadow in front of me, long, stretched unnaturally across the pavement. But there was no one in front of me. Slowly, I raised my head, and there she was, the same woman from the hallway, dragging one foot, body bent like her bones remembered something painful, clothes torn and dirty, feet twisted, hair matted and wild, walking so slowly I caught up without meaning to. I froze behind her, my heartbeat was loud enough to echo. She stopped, turned her head slightly, and said in a soft, broken voice that sounded like a crackling radio, "You seen my baby?" My mouth dried out instantly. I whispered, "Whoop, what?" She lifted her chin and her voice grew sharp. "You seen my baby?" I almost fainted right there, but my survival instinct kicked in. I pointed far down the street. Yeah, I think I saw a little girl go that way." She jerked her head toward where I pointed, her entire body twisted with the motion like her joints weren't doing their job. Then she limped away, faster than she walked before, almost frantic. She went so far I couldn't see her. I didn't think, I just ran. 5. The scream that shouldn't have felt human. I was half a block from home when it happened. A scream. Not loud like someone getting hurt, but long, echoing, piercing. The kind that makes your spine curl on its own. "She's here-y!" It came from the direction I pointed her toward. I stumbled, my vision swirled, and everything went dark. 6. What my neighbor told me later. I woke up in my bedroom. My neighbor, Mr. Coleman, was sitting next to my bed, sipping coffee. He said he found me unconscious near the empty lot 2 blocks from my home. I was pale, shaking, mumbling something about a woman and her kid. Then he told me something I'll never forget. Back in 1999, he was teaching at Roosevelt High. And he knew Marilyn Rowe. He said, "She wasn't crazy at first. She was just a mom, a broken mom. Jenna went missing after staying late in school just like you. Marilyn searched the school at night for weeks. Security found her crawling through the hallways, calling out, 'Jenna? Baby? Mama's here.' Cops took her to a psychiatric facility. 2 months later, she hung herself in the woods behind the school. People around town swear her spirit never left. Still wandering, still looking for her daughter, still asking strangers, 'You seen my baby?' 7. One last thing. 2 nights after my incident, I was walking past my living room window at 1 a.m. to get water. And I saw her, standing across the street under the street lamp, head tilted, looking directly at my house, like she remembered me, like she knew I lied to her. I ducked behind the curtain and stayed there till sunrise. She hasn't appeared since. But sometimes, late at night, I hear that limp in the hallway near my bedroom door. Thump, drag, thump, drag. And I know she's still looking for her daughter, and she still remembers the boy who lied. I grew up in a small town in West Virginia, close enough that the college I attended was only 15 minutes away. I won't mention the name of the university, but it was tiny. One of those places where everybody knows everybody and everything feels a little too close. I started as a freshman in 2021 when CO was still affecting campus life. Most students chose not to stay in the dorms because of the restrictions, so they rented apartments nearby. I didn't have that luxury. I was broke and the dorms were all I could afford. I went home every weekend anyway since I lived so close, but I still wanted the full college experience. On my first day, I met my roommate. We had exchanged a few texts earlier. Nothing special, just introductions. The school had given her my number without asking, which already felt strange. In person, she was nice enough, but she barely talked. There was an odd, privileged air about her. Once, out of nowhere, she told me, everyone had their own rooms last semester because there were so few students. I did too, until you joined. I didn't know how to respond, so I changed the subject. During the weekdays, she rarely stayed in our room. She usually slept at her boyfriend's dorm. That suited me fine, until the first creepy incident happened. The first Monday. As usual, I left Friday afternoon and came back Monday at 6 a.m. I didn't have class until 10 o'clock, so I went straight to bed. I had just settled into my thick memory foam mattress when I felt the edge of the bed dip, as though someone leaned onto it. I didn't move. I was half asleep, confused, trying to make sense of it. A moment later, the pressure lifted. The mattress rose again. I turned around. She was lying on her bed, facing the wall, apparently asleep. I convinced myself I imagined it. The second Monday. The next weekend was the same. Packed bag, went home, returned at 6 in the morning. I lay down again, exhausted. But this time the indent was different. Not a small dip. The entire side of the bed sank like someone had sat down heavily next to me. I froze. They got up a moment later. I heard the soft thud of someone jumping off my high bed. I needed a stool to climb up, so it couldn't have been an accident. I looked again. She was still in her bed, facing the wall. I told myself I must have been exhausted, imagining things, dreaming while awake. But something felt wrong. The third Monday. The worst morning. I was already anxious when Monday rolled around again. She was actually in the room this time, lying on her bed but facing me. I climbed into my bed, curling under the blanket, trying to fall asleep. 5 minutes later, the mattress sank. Slowly, deliberately. Someone sat beside me, my eyes squeezed shut in fear. Then I felt it, a hand on the back of my neck, not squeezing, just resting. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. It felt like forever before the weight lifted, and whoever it was climbed down. When I finally turned my head, she was facing the wall again, motionless. I left the room immediately, trembling, and called my mother. She contacted the school and they let me switch rooms. They asked if I wanted to involve the police, but I had no proof. I just requested that they never give her another roommate. Aftermath. When I unpacked in my new room, little details suddenly made sense. She once mentioned she had a previous roommate who didn't stay long. She kept a locked drawer full of prescription medication. She claimed it was for a skin condition, but there were too many bottles for that. Sleepwalking, side effects, something darker. A few days later, she texted me asking me to come get a book I'd left behind. My key still worked. When I entered, she wasn't there, until I turned around to leave and found her suddenly standing in the doorway. I hadn't even heard the door open. She pressed me with questions. Where's your new room? What hall? Near the stairs? The office? The front? I lied. She watched me walk out, silent. I never saw her again. To this day, I don't know what happened on those mornings. I can't prove it was her. But only she and I had keys. My mother believes she was testing how close she could get to me without waking me. And that last morning when her hand rested on my neck, she might have been trying to see how far she could go. I grew up in Redwood Hills, a small, quiet town tucked somewhere between too boring and nothing ever happens here. Our high school, Redwood Hills High, stood right next to a thick stretch of woods the locals called Coyote Bend Forest. Every kid in town had been warned about it growing up. Don't wander too far, don't go in at night, don't go off the marked trail. Most warnings were just small-town parent paranoia, or so I thought. It was April 2019, my last semester, and I'd mentally checked out months before. I wasn't failing or anything, but I was that kid who just didn't care anymore. My grades were good enough, my college plans were already set, and I had two close friends, Logan and Riley, who shared the same senior year laziness. We skipped class a lot, not to party, not to get into trouble. We just didn't want to be in school. A lot of kids skipped behind the building, cutting through the woods to reach a gas station or a diner down the road. Teachers rarely patrolled back there. The administration acted like the woods didn't exist. That day, Friday, April 13th, yeah, I know, was warm, sunny, and honestly perfect for skipping. I remember waking up thinking, one day left until the weekend. I can survive one more. But I didn't go to first period. Neither did Logan. Neither did Riley. I texted our group chat. Me. Meet behind gym in 10. Wings at Benny's? Logan. Hell yeah. Riley. Already outside LOL. The plan was simple. Take the trail into Coyote Bend, cross the creek, cut through some brush, end up at Benny's Chicken Shack. We'd done it 100 times, but this time, everything felt wrong from the beginning. Chapter 1. The Kid in the Woods. The three of us met behind the gym, the school walls buzzing with the sound of students heading to class. Logan said, "Bro, Coach Meyer almost saw me. Dude's got like predator vision." Riley laughed, pulling up her hoodie. "You're just slow, that's your problem." I smirked, checking the parking lot for staff. "All right, let's move before anyone sees us." We stepped into the trail, the cool shade swallowing us almost instantly. 5 minutes in, I noticed something strange. There was someone ahead of us. A kid. He stood in the middle of the path, dirt smeared on his clothes. His jeans were completely wrecked, grass-stained, muddy, torn at the knee. His white long-sleeve shirt was brown on one side, like he'd slid through a patch of wet ground. His hair had leaves stuck in it. His breathing was weird, sharp, shaky. Logan whispered, "Yo, who's that?" Riley squinted. "Freshman, I think. I've seen him around." When we got closer, the kid flinched like we were animals about to pounce. I tried to keep my voice calm. "Hey man, you good? You look like you just fought a damn bear." The kid didn't laugh. He didn't smile. He didn't even blink. Instead, he stepped back once, eyes darting between us and the deeper part of the forest behind him. Then he asked in this shaky, strained voice, "Are you guys supposed to be out here?" Logan raised an eyebrow. "Dude, chill. We're just skipping." The kid swallowed hard. "Skipping? Like skipping school?" Riley crossed her arms. "Yeah? What's your deal?" There was something wrong, something about his eyes. He looked tired, terrified, and angry all at the same time. I asked softly, "You all right? You hurt?" The kid hesitated, then finally muttered, "You shouldn't be here right now." That sent a cold shiver down my spine. I exchanged looks with Logan and Riley. Riley whispered, "Okay. What the hell does that mean?" The kid stepped closer to us, then he whispered, "Want to see something?" Chapter 2. The gun before any of us answered, the kid lifted his dirty shirt. And there it was, a handgun tucked into his waistband. Real, heavy-looking, black, scratched up. It felt like the entire forest stopped breathing. Riley gasped, "Jesus, what are you doing with that?" Logan froze, eyes wide. "Dude, put that away, are you out of your mind?" Even though I'd never seen a real gun up close, I knew immediately that this wasn't a toy. I stepped back, hands up slightly. "Hey, listen, man. Whatever's going on, we don't want any trouble." The kid didn't point it at us, but the way he held himself made it obvious. He was scared, really scared. He whispered, "I didn't steal it, I found it." I frowned. "Found it? Here, in the woods?" He nodded. "Behind the maintenance shed. Someone left their truck unlocked. I took it." Riley hissed, "Oh my God." Logan whispered, "Dude, that is literally stealing." The kid's breathing picked up again. He wiped his forehead with a shaking hand. "I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. They're gonna come looking for me." I tried staying calm. "Who's they? Your parents?" He shook his head violently. No, the cops. I felt my stomach drop. Riley whispered, "Okay, we need to walk away. Right now." The kid looked at us, desperate, angry, frantic. Then he muttered, "You guys don't get it. I already did something I can't take back." I felt the blood drain from my face. Logan whispered, "Bro, what did you do?" The kid turned toward the forest, glancing deeper into the trees, and that's when I realized something was terribly wrong. Birds weren't chirping. No wind rustled the leaves. The entire woods felt frozen, like the world was waiting. The kid muttered again, quieter this time, "I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble." He wasn't talking to us anymore. He was talking to himself. And that was the moment all three of us had the same instinct. Run. Chapter 3. The sprint through Coyote Bend. None of us said a word. We just turned and sprinted. Branches slapped our faces, roots nearly tripped us, the air stung our lungs. I didn't look back, not once. I didn't want to see if he was following. Logan shouted between gasps, "Dude, don't stop, just run!" Riley tripped, caught herself, and kept going. Why does this feel like a damn horror movie? My chest felt like it was going to explode. After what felt like forever, we burst out of a thicket of trees and stumbled into the school's back parking lot. And froze. There were police cars everywhere, at least 15, lights flashing, officers yelling into radios, teachers gathered near the doors, students escorted in lines, a lockdown. My heart slammed. "Oh God," Riley whispered. "No, no, no, no." We ducked behind a parked car. Logan whispered, "They're looking for him. It's about him. It has to be." We crouched there, panting, while chaos unfolded around us. Officers ran toward the edge of the woods, the same area we'd just escaped from. One of them yelled, "Suspect spotted near the tree line. Move!" My stomach twisted. The kid. They found him. Riley grabbed my arm. "We have to get out of here." No one argued. We split up instinctively, each running home in different directions, none of us wanting to be questioned, none of us wanting to admit we'd been near him. Chapter 4. The Aftermath. That evening, news spread across town. The freshman's name wasn't released since he was a minor, but everyone knew who it was. The rumors swirled fast. He'd posted threats online, graphic ones, disturbing ones, targeting the school. He'd stolen the gun from a mechanic's truck that morning. Police intercepted him just before he reached the campus building. Some said his family had been struggling. Some said he'd been bullied. Others said he'd stopped taking medication days earlier. No one knew the full truth, but one thing was clear. He'd been heading toward the school when we met him, and we'd stalled him. Even if only for a few minutes. A few minutes that may have changed everything. Logan texted later. "Logan, we say nothing. Agreed?" Riley, "Agreed." Me, "Yeah, no one will believe us anyway. We never told the school. We never told the police. We never told our parents. Not because we wanted to hide anything, but because we were scared, terrified. And because every time I tried to open my mouth to talk about it, I saw his face again. Dirty, shaking, desperate. I didn't sleep for weeks after that. Every time I walked near the woods, I felt like I was being watched. Sometimes I dreamt of him still standing there on the trail, waiting for us. Chapter 5. Years later. It's strange how certain memories get trapped in your brain, ones you never asked for. I'm older now, different town, different life. But sometimes when I'm driving past a wooded area, I'll get that same cold rush along my spine. Sometimes when I hear a kid yell in a hallway, I flinch without meaning to. People say nothing ever happens in small towns. But I know better. I know that sometimes the scariest moments aren't monsters in the dark. It's a scared kid with a shaking voice and a gun he never should have had. It's the minutes between "Are you guys supposed to be out here?" and "Suspect spotted near the tree line." It's the realization that the horror wasn't supernatural. It was real, human, breathing, 3 feet away from me. And I will never forget the moment I realized I might have been standing face to face with tragedy, or accidentally prevented one. Even now, I still hear his voice sometimes. You guys shouldn't be here right now. And he was right. We shouldn't have been, but we were, and everything changed because of it.